Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anna of Reinforce Big Love, your fellow positive reinforcer. Today, we are going to talk about beating procrastination using the 5 minute rule. Look, I was able to come up with this topic today because, the way when we have things to do and it feels like daunting and overwhelming that we have things to do for the day and we end up not doing it because it's too much. I mean, there's a lot of things to be done in order to finish it. Like, for example, cleaning the house. Imagine you're going to clean the entire house starting 9 o'clock in the morning. And, the thought of it is really, you know, kind of dragging. Like, really, I have to clean the entire house. I know it feels good when I see a clean house and feel and live in it, but start cleaning the house kind of, you know, uh, hesitating in a way that, we want to be comfortable. So, the reason why I want to share to you this 5 minute rule concept is that, you don't really have to drag yourself. You don't really need to commit cleaning or commit to a work or a project or a job which, makes you feel like uneasy by merely starting it. Now, the concept of 5 minute rule is that when the job or the work is overwhelming, just commit 5 minutes in doing it. That's it. As easy as that. If you feel like you don't really want to do it, you don't like doing it, just do it for 5 minutes. And if you don't like it, to stop. Then stop. Then if you like it, then just go on. Now let me explain why the 5 minute rule is effective in beating procrastination. Now, when you say to yourself that you are just going to commit to doing it for 5 minutes, I'm talking about the things that you don't like to do. Even myself, though, I do love working out 3 to 4 times a week. And most days, I don't really like to work out. But I'm doing such a thing in order to trick my pretty, a little bit lazy brain to do it. I mean, I'm not a perfect person, but I still get and manage myself to do workout because I want to do the things that I said I'm going to do to myself. Now, the reason why 5 minute rule works is that it actually breaks the initial resistance. You know, the way many times the hardest part of completing a task is merely just getting started. Whatever the task is, it could be exercising, cleaning the house, doing a project, writing a project, doing some research, or it could be cooking, when you're planning to cook a decent meal for the family. Sometimes it's kind of hard to start it, to just get up and start uh, taking the recipes from the fridge, because it's so nice to sit on the couch watching your favorite Netflix series. Now, by telling yourself you only need to work for 5 minutes, you reduce your psychological resistance to begin the task. You just tell it to yourself like, I'm just gonna do it for 5 minutes anyway. And if I don't like it, if I still feel tired, then I'm just gonna stop. I go back to the living room, sit on the couch, and watch my favorite TV series. This trick works because starting with a small, manageable commitment feels less intimidating. I know it's funny, but there's a truth behind it. Now, by the time you have already started doing the task, like for example, working out, you've already started to, your like for example, your chest, you're working out, you're exercising the targeting the chest part of your body. So you start, picking up the dumbbells and, start to work out your chest. And once you start the task, working out your target muscle, often you find yourself more engaged than expected. You feel like, oh, I've already started it. I'm already doing what I said to myself that I'm going to do. It feels good. And this creates momentum. making it easier to continue working beyond that initial 5 minutes. That's the trick. So many people end up working for so much longer than 5 minutes once they are in the flow. So just tell yourself that it's just 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes, and I'm gonna start. And once you've already getting started, oh, it feels good, and you finally get the momentum to do it more than 5 minutes. Another thing, committing to only 5 minutes, 5 minutes, also reduces the pressure to do something perfectly. Since you tell to yourself, like, you're only going to do this for 5 minutes, so it doesn't really have to be perfect. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that it eliminates perfectionism. The task doesn't have to be completed or even done well in that time. What matters is simply starting. But when you tell to yourself that you're just going to do this 5 minutes, most of the time you're still going to complete the task because people tend to remember unfinished tasks more than the completed ones, which means that if you start a task, your brain will want to finish it. This creates a natural push to continue working after the initial 5 minutes are up. So this is how powerful is the 5 minute productivity hack. Now, why does thing works? Why does this 5 minute rule productivity hack works? The reason why is that it actually lowers your expectation. Think about it. Committing to only 5 minutes reduces the pressure and the sense of being perfect or perfectionism that often comes with a bigger project. Like, for example, let's go back to working out, targeting your chest area. You want to have a good chest, a strong, tough chest, as well as back. And then you imagine the kind of chest and back, in the picture from the social media. It's people are actually perfect there. And, obviously you cannot achieve that in one day unless you tend to be consistent on your workout. But in order to be consistent, you have to get started using an option, specifically this 5 minute rule, to get yourself started. So once you've already tell yourself, look, I'm only going to do this for 5 minutes, no more, no less, I better stop if I don't like it. And once you've already start working out, starting the job, starting your work, and then you realize that, oh my gosh, it feels good though. Maybe I can just continue this. And you end up actually doing it more than 5 minutes to half an hour to 1 hour until you finish the task. Another reason why this 5 minute rule works is that, it eliminates the so-called cognitive bias. That once you start, you may feel already invested in completing the task, making it easier to keep working, to continue working on it until it's done. So when you start something, you're more likely to finish it rather than relying on the thought that you're not going to finish it anyway. It's hard, it has to be perfectly done. But since you've already started, your 5 minute journey, you just tend to complete it. It doesn't have to be perfect, and then you realize that it's never really hard though. You've already started doing it. Just finish it. And the way when you finally finish or you go beyond that 5 minutes that you've already told yourself that you're going to do. Like, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes. But you did it for more than 5 minutes till you finish it. And no matter how small the task is, psychologically, completing even small tasks triggers a sense of accomplishment, which can lead to a snowball effect where you can accomplish more throughout the day. So let's just say, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna target my chest today, chest muscles, and then yeah, you end up finishing the workout instead of committing to only 5 minutes, and then you tell yourself again, oh, maybe I can just clean the room, but it's actually messy though. My room is messy, but maybe I can just start cleaning my desk because I love to be in my desk. I can play on the computer, and after a while cleaning your desk, you've noticed that, oh, my floor, maybe I can sweep the floor. And you've ended up a lot of things done because of this 5 minute rule. Just merely get yourself started. That's the bottom line of this. Now, the benefits of this 5 minute rule, basically, you know, it helps you overcome procrastination. That instead of not doing it at all, you decided to at least just give it a chance, give it a try for 5 minutes, and then you end up doing it and completing it. Even more than 5 minutes, you finish the task. You just beat procrastination. Congratulations. Thank you very much. It's especially effective for people who struggle with procrastination, as it provides a very low barrier to starting. Like, if you feel that the job is hard, you just have to do it for 5 minutes. And if you make a deal to yourself, and if you think that you don't like it, then I just cancel it. I just stop it. And that's such a great deal, though. But since you've already attained the momentum, then you wouldn't stop. You ended up completing the task. That is the superpower of this 5 minute rule. And it also helps you increase focus. Focusing on just 5 minutes. 5 minutes encourages you to put all the distractions aside and concentrate on the task at hand for 5 minutes. And then when you feel that you finally get the momentum, even without knowing it, then you continue beyond 5 minutes. Lastly, when you finally started, using this 5 minute rule in beating your procrastination, the satisfaction of making progress, while you start from the start of doing it for the sake of completing it for just 5 minutes, and you can see your progress, though, no matter how small it is, can boost your motivation to tackle other tasks. You're just going to do this for 5 minutes, and then, all right, it feels good, and you end up completing it. And you start another task, oh, it's just 5 minutes. And then you end up completing it again. And then another task, and you end up completing a lot of things to do for the day. That boosts your confidence, your motivation, and you feel like, you're not really that a procrastinator at all. You are such a productive person. And you can do this again tomorrow, next day, for the entire week, or for the rest of your life. Always remember the 5 minute rule. This 5 minute productivity hack to beat your procrastination is such a simple tool for increasing efficiency and taking the first step toward overcoming larger obstacles by merely starting small. It's widely applicable and adaptable to various types of tasks. So just like a domino effect, you start small, and then you actually, without even knowing it, you get the momentum, and then it feels good, and then you ended up finishing the task. As simple as that. Always remember to use the 5 minute rule in beating your procrastination. I've also used it to myself. For the top three things to be completed by me every day off, or every day. I have top three things, in my day off and when I'm working, things to do. So I hope this helps. It helps you a lot. And if you ever love this episode today, you can follow me in Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, even in Amazon Podcast. Reinforce Me Club. This is, and by the way, your fellow positive reinforcer. I do appreciate your time, and have a lovely day ahead. Thanks once again.